She tried to hide it, but the camera caught everything. And no matter how hard Kim Go-eun tried to act normal, her reaction to Lee Min-ho said everything. This is the story of the moment that shook the entire fandom. A moment that wasn't scripted, wasn't rehearsed, wasn't supposed to happen. But it did, right in front of thousands of people and millions more who watched later. And once you understand what led up to it, you'll see why fans are still talking about it today. Let's begin. Kim Go-eun had always been good at controlling her emotions. Years in the industry structured her into someone who could smile through exhaustion, laugh through frustration, and stay composed in front of flashing cameras and reporters who never stopped taking notes. But even the most disciplined heart can slip. And sometimes, love shows itself in the smallest, softest, most unprepared moments. That wasn't the day she planned for. In fact, she had no idea Lee Min-ho would even be there. The event was a large promotional gathering, one of those star-studded occasions where actors, directors, producers, and journalists filled the room like an ocean of expectations. Kim Go-eun was scheduled to attend alone. Her team confirmed it. Her manager reconfirmed it. Her agency posted it. Lee Min-ho was in another city that morning. Everyone thought he wouldn't make it, but fate, as always with them, had other plans. When she stepped onto the stage, she appeared calm, professional, poised in her simple, elegant outfit that made her stand out without screaming for attention. She delivered her speech smoothly, answered questions with confidence, and kept her smile warm but measured. Everything seemed perfectly normal, until the crowd suddenly erupted into whispers, gasps, and camera clicks. The host glanced toward the side of the stage, confused. Security shifted. Photographers surged forward. And Kim Go-eun turned, expecting to see just another guest. But she didn't see another guest. She saw him, Lee Min-ho, walking toward the stage. Unplanned, unexpected, unannounced. And that was when it happened. Her whole body froze for a half second. Not long enough for the average person to notice, but more than enough for fans, professionals, and every analyst who had been waiting for a sign. Her eyes widened, not dramatically, but softly, almost tenderly, like someone who had just seen a memory she wasn't prepared to relive. She swallowed, blinking quickly, tried to regain her composure, but the subtle tremble in her breath gave her away. Even her smile changed. The polite, public-appropriate smile she wore all afternoon faded, replaced by something warmer, something real, something she didn't mean to show. She tried to hide it, but love has a way of breaking through even the most perfected performances. Lee Min-ho was supposed to be there, yet he walked in without hesitation, as though the entire event belonged to him now simply because she was in it. The crowd parted for him like he was gravity itself. And when he climbed onto the stage, the energy shifted instantly, subtle but undeniable. The air thickened with a kind of anticipation you can only feel when something is about to happen, or when something is being revealed. She bowed politely. He bowed back, a formal greeting. Nothing unusual. But then he looked at her, not at the cameras, not at the audience, not at the host, at her, and that was all it took. Her composure cracked again, this time in the form of a laugh she didn't plan. A small one, barely a breath, but one she couldn't control. She looked down at the floor, trying to hide surprise in her expression, trying to pull herself together. But the cameras had already zoomed in. People later argued online. Was it love, respect, nostalgia, or something deeper, something they've never spoken about in public? What fans agreed on was simple. Her reaction wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't part of any event schedule. It wasn't a PR act. It was genuine. And genuine moments don't lie. As Lee Min-ho approached the microphone, the room fell silent. All eyes were on him. But his eyes kept pulling back to her, again and again. Not obviously, not dramatically. Just enough to make it clear she was the anchor in his line of sight. He spoke about the event, the industry, the collaboration involved. He thanked colleagues and fans. Everything sounded perfectly normal. But whenever he mentioned team, or support, or partnership, The corner of his gaze shifted toward her, and each time he did, she blinked slower, as if absorbing something unspoken. She tried to keep her hands still, tried to maintain her posture, tried not to look back too long. But her heart had already shown itself. The moment that sparked the wildfire happened near the end. As the host moved them into a group photo, Lee Min-ho stepped slightly to the side. Kim Go-eun moved to follow the line of guests. But then, unexpectedly, he extended his hand, just subtly, just enough to guide her with a gentle gesture. He didn't touch her. He didn't speak. He didn't pull her close. But the way his hand moved toward her, as if she was the only person he felt responsible for in that moment, that was enough. Her breath caught, and fans caught it too. That single moment spread across the internet like wildfire, clipped, edited, shared, viewed millions of times within hours. People kept replaying her reaction, the quick inhale, the soft smile she tried to suppress, the way her shoulders relaxed the second she realized it was him. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It wasn't obvious. But love rarely is. True affection reveals itself in whispers, not announcements. After the photo session, they didn't stand close, didn't touch, didn't flirt. They maintained clean, professional distance. But the emotional distance, that was gone, because once the heart reacts, once a feeling escapes, you can't force it back in. Kim Go-eun tried. She kept her expression neutral. She answered questions calmly. She bowed, smiled, and moved on with the schedule as expected. But every few seconds, her eyes flickered sideways, searching for him, not in a longing, overly dramatic way, but in a quiet, instinctive manner, like looking for someone who makes the room feel safer without even trying. And when she found him, the slightest upward curve touched her lips, not a grin, not a blush, just the kind of smile someone gives when they see a person who has played a meaningful part in their life. A smile that comes from familiarity, comfort, and connection. When the event ended, fans expected fireworks. Maybe they would walk out together. Maybe they would exchange looks again. Maybe something dramatic would spill into the cameras. But the truth is, the magic was already captured. The reveal had already happened. And anything more would have taken away from the purity of that one unguarded moment. Instead, Lee Min-ho left first. Quietly, his security team let him out through a side door. Kim Go-eun left later. Also quietly. Also separate. But fans swear that when she walked out, her steps felt lighter, as if something in her had been soothed, or woken up, or simply acknowledged. And maybe that's how love works. Not loud, not